yesterday, but of course we did our meeting and a club call, and I urge you to look at it if you haven't done so. Once again, today we're trying to build in for a recession. It happens every single day. It's become quite the commonplace. It's what's driving the S&P down, and of course the NASDAQ was actually up last week. Perhaps people realized that may have been a fool's game. You know, Jeff, these signs, inverted yield curve, oil breaking 100, 10 years slipping back to 2.94. I admit that people are saying it's going to be a recession.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're going to get that big CPI number tomorrow, too. I think that's going to be important.
Bad.
Inflation, if it is too hot, 75 basis points from the Fed, probably see more thereafter. Today's really interesting, too, because I think at first the NASDAQ was actually going a little bit higher, but it was comments made last night. I think this is the story of the day by the CEO of ServiceNow, Bill McDermott, that I really think is controlling the market today.
Yeah. So last night on Mad Money, Bill McDermott came on. I've had Bill on many, many times. I know him very well. He felt like he wanted to clear the air about what is the let's say the zeitgeist of the moment. And the zeitgeist is the strong dollar's bad and Europe is choppy. Sure. Well, I mean, if you take a look at Salesforce has got strong dollar problems. Europe is choppy. Microsoft has strong dollar problems. Adobe has strong dollar problems. So the ServiceNow comments, which I think were not meant to denigrate ServiceNow itself, because remember, they are in quiet period. It was not about their quarter.
Let's pull up the chart of ServiceNow.
Yeah, I think it's maybe, maybe people downgrade it tomorrow and you get an opportunity to buy it. Yeah. I happen to like ServiceNow, but we already have.
Well, there's the dollar. I mean, you can see how strong the dollar is.
This is just killing. Okay.
10% move on it wasn't a pre-announcement, but
an interview of Mad Money. Now, what's interesting is here, this is that level where we all talk about the May bottom. Okay. If the May bottom is not held, then you do have Katie by the door. I know that a lot of the people that I deal with are looking at the May bottom and saying it's going to hold. So we are at the crucial level for ServiceNow, which in many ways is indicative of a lot of cloud companies.
Yeah, and maybe if we can go back to that DXY, the dollar chart. We did a nice story last Friday about, be prepared. You're going to hear a lot of comments about perhaps guidance not being raised because of how strong the dollar is. You can see where it's a huge move over the last year and change. We may have to do a follow-up story on that just to get a little bit more granular, because
it's shuddering.
Because ServiceNow comments, I think, are really moving things. But interestingly enough, PepsiCo reported they're seeing a 2% headwind. 2%.
Remember, they're more domestic than Coca-Cola. What I think we have to do, and again, we talk out loud to each other, is that if a very banal comment by Bill McDermott can knock things down like this, we do have to figure out, how much can Microsoft go down? How much can Salesforce go down? Not because we love them right here, but because we have sold some and we're looking to buy some. To buy it back.
Yeah, and Microsoft is an interesting case too, because they already pre-announced the FX headwind. So has it gotten even worse? Perhaps.
Yeah, I guess so. But, but people just
chart seems.
People look the other way, but not this time. Not with ServiceNow comments. Now, oil below 100. Remember, my thesis is that oil's still the best hedge. We do have opportunities to buy some of the oils. Now, there was a round trip in a lot of the oils. I remain convinced that with interest rates going down, you want to buy the higher yielding oils, which is what we have, with the exception of Halliburton. And I'm not backing away from that. I think we just have to stay on course and accept the fact that oil is going to be elevated. And that's where a lot of people are going to make a lot of money. I'm not going away from that. Now, Pioneer, again, we bought some Pioneer yesterday after we had the meeting.
A small buy, very small.
Yeah, small buy.
15 shares.
I think that, maybe at 200, maybe, you take a look at where it was when they announced their dividend. Okay. That, you get to the dividend, it's like, it's 14% right now. And maybe you wait for 16%. Maybe that's what we do. We wait 2 points, 2 yield points. Sure. That might be a good idea.
But you have to space it out, because this group is just...
it's too crazy.
Very crazy. And Jim, also, what about Larry Williams? You had the technician.
Yeah, let's take a look. I don't know what we have, but Larry...
We got nothing on his specific charts.
Let me just go into what Larry was saying. It was a little convoluted, and I'm sorry, but last night on Mad Money, besides ServiceNow and Bill McDermott wrecking tech, we had using some chart work by Larry Williams, who I think is the best market historian there is, which demonstrated conclusively that we have hit bottom when the public, particularly the large hedge funds, are betting against the market, and the commercial hedgers, consider them the farmers, the ones who are really in the business, are buyers. And right now, the commercial buying is just extraordinary, and the hedge fund selling is extraordinary. So you have, we can just get rid of this for a second. I can be able to draw better than what is typically.
I think we have a chart of the S&P 500.
Yeah, just give me S&P 500. I'll be able to address this because it's really important. I want people to understand. Okay, so what he's saying is that right now in this, we have commercial hedgers, and again, that's banks, people who have to be in the business. But I want you to think of them as the farmers. Okay, they're the people who are in the business of soy and corn. They're buying. Okay, the sellers are both the public, but also the hedge funds. Now, when this has happened, typically at this level, you get this, and you get it a few days ahead of time. So what Larry's talking about is rally tomorrow and the next day, typically. And I think that would mean maybe a lighter CPI, or that would mean maybe that we are overdone on the downside. I keep coming back to the Micron initiative, where Micron reports stock goes down to 53 because the forecast is cut. And then people say, wait a second, this stock has gotten too cheap. We are not yet in this stock has gotten too cheap for any other stock other than Qualcomm. Mm-hmm. We still have to worry about Advanced Micro. We have to worry about, although it's positive note today, Marvell. We have to worry about NVIDIA. When I say worry, it means we have a position and we don't want it to go down too much before we buy again. And then you want to look at Microsoft at a certain level, and they sent yesterday. But we're not in the transports, thank heavens.
No, Union Pacific downgraded by JP Morgan today.
God.
Yeah, we were in it earlier in the year, but
sure.
Sold it much
higher. Union Pacific and Nucor were two that we were in that we were heavily criticized that we sold. Now, look, we make mistakes. That's part of what we do. Look at the product. And I know people get confused when I say the product. What we're doing is trying to explain to you what we think we should do and what we've got wrong. I mean, I don't think it's wrong to say, well, wait a second. We have owned Amazon down all the way down. We have, but we owned it all the way up, and we own it in a level that I think is still terrific versus where we bought it. Have we bought the oils right? Well, we bought some of them right. We bought some of them wrong. But the problem is that oil is the way to be able to make it so that you stay in the game, because everybody says the same thing, which is if oil spikes big, that's going to hurt the market. And we want something rather than cash that's going to help us. And that's what I have to say. Now, and
they're returning cash back, too. Those dividends are still coming in.
It's like the old days.
Buybacks are still happening. Jim, and we got the chart of Amazon up. Prime Day, 2-day event, starts today.
Right. But
I don't know if you're looking to buy anything. It's going to be interesting to see.
I am. It's interesting you say that.
How they do with the shift to services away from goods.
I'm going to buy some rafts from an outfit for my pool. I mean, okay, but they're expensive. And when I look at this, I say, and also I bought the Meta.
Okay, the
Facebook Meta,
the Quest.
It's so cool. Oh my God! But this is normally, I think people felt this would go down, be a head and shoulders. This stock is bottoming, and it's bottoming because they came clean and said, "Listen, we got to make some layoffs." And I think that's a very bullish sign. I like Amazon very much. Now, contrast that. Citi lowers numbers, NVIDIA. I can't get that confirmed that that's the right thing to do. AMD lowered at KeyBank and Cowen on slowing PC. I think that's a big mistake, because they already had a giant analyst meeting where they said that we're slowing PC. So I find that there's a lot of redundancy in the negative calls, which is important. Think about Micron and how it rallied. And there are people who are scared to death of commodities and people who believe that the strong dollar, if we can just call up ServiceNow one more time, that ServiceNow was somehow representative of the entire market when I don't think it really was meant to be representative. I think Bill came on. He's going to clarify things. I don't know if we have ServiceNow again.
Yeah, ticker's now.
Now, NOW. But if you ask Bill about the reaction to this, I think he'd say, I don't know. Hey, the business is pretty good. But remember, Bill was not there to talk about the quarter. And therefore, I think that if the idea is that you think that he was trying to talk down his own stock, that is gravely mistaken. He was saying that people should be aware of the strong dollar. And that was the essence of what he said. All right, this is Jim Cramer for Jeff Marks for the morning meeting. Don't forget, again, watch the replay of what we did yesterday. I think it'll tell you a lot about oil, tell you a lot about tech, a lot about medical, and how we're thinking. And stay tuned. I am trying. I'm not going to make any promises, but there is no Mad Money tonight. Mm-hmm. And that's because we're rehearsing for our new set. But I am trying to put together something that would be equivalent for club members about what happened today. But it's a very technologically difficult thing to do, but I'm going to do it for you. I will find a way to get this done. It's Jim Cramer, morning meeting, strictly for members of the CNBC Investing Club.